All right, let's go into it. Premier League team of the season. Probably for the first time, a bit more spread out, not just like an Arsenal City or a City Liverpool 11, as much as it probably still is a strong Liverpool contingent. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5. I've got 6 clubs in 11 players, which is pretty
I think we
good
probably
for a
have a
Premier
very
League.
similar list.
Yeah.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well.
Yeah, 6 clubs. So we're probably going to have a very similar 11.
Yeah, okay. We haven't actually. I think we spoke about a couple players.
Yeah.
But
we might have some differences.
I was thinking maybe it would be a couple differences, but yeah.
We'll see.
No, we know this because I've gone 4-4-2.
Oh, I've gone the 4-3.
Yeah, I've gone 4-4-2, mate. I mean, it's a bit rogue, but
England will play the 4-4-2. That's what he's going with here. Do you want to go start with your back four and goalkeeper?
yeah. Well, I reckon we have the same keeper. I got Matt Sells.
Matt Sells, yeah. That's the banker.
I really wanted to go like Raya. Like
He was much closer than I thought he was going to be. When I looked at it and looked at the numbers and looked at the positioning,
I
very
think he's had
close.
such an underrated season. I mean, because we seem to have such a great back four and everything, but I'm telling you, the back four was not as good this year as it has been in the last 2 years. It's fallen off a little bit, and particularly in recent times, especially last night. But
how
seriously,
many saves did he make last night?
oh my god,
6?
he was crap,
7?
mate. I don't know, yeah.
I said that, but yeah.
But he was insane. But I'll keep it relatively short. Matt Sells has been part of a really, really strong Forest backbone.
Yeah. Most consistent probably. Is
exactly. I think over the course of the duration of the season, he's been very, very consistent, and also probably has most outperformed expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's valid as well. And so you say same reasons?
Absolutely the same reasons for me. And look, it doesn't end the season well for them considering how they've dropped down. But if they finish 5th even, if they were 5th, it looks even better. Just because they've dropped down a bit, and I think that's more because of their attack more than their defence, is why, Raya 100% is very, very close. But Forest drop out of Europe, I think it's almost like always has to be Raya. It's that to the point where because Forest are in Europe, like you said, expectation, he has to be in there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree on the whole Forest. I've got a couple of Forest players in here, and it's like, this is sort of contingent on that they make Europe.
Yeah, it's teetering now that they've finished so poorly. But 2 months ago, actually, when we made this midpoint season team of the season, we had a lot of. I had Aina, I had Wood as well. A few drop out, I think, because of the way they finished.
Yeah, fair enough.
Back fours.
From left to right, I have Vardiol,
Okay.
Gabriel,
Yeah.
Van Dijk, and I still have Aina in my team.
Giovanni and yours. So I went Kirkes, Gabriel, Van Dijk, and Munoz.
Kirkes, Gabriel, Van Dijk, and Munoz. So we said.
Yes. So we have two different fullbacks basically.
So, so that's why we both have 6 names. Yeah. So look, City have been bad, but Vardiol has still been pretty incredible. I found. Obviously he's had some elite goal contributions, and is probably this season's probably been their first name of the team sheet, essentially. I think Gabriel and Van Dijk sort of speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And then on the right, I guess your main difference is I've just valued Forest this season a little bit more, as you said. I mean, if Forest was still Champions League spots, as they were a couple months ago,
just goes in.
then I think they have a lot of City representation, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a lot of Forest representation in this team, but I guess
with that, I went on the basis of just the impact going forward as well. Munoz 4 goals, 5 assists, 11 clean sheets. I think they underrate how good Palace have been defensively. Or not we, but just in general, everyone's underrated how good they've been defensively. Yeah. I've talked about Lacroix, talked about Gahey a lot. Even Richards in the weekend, I gave him my man of the match from the FA Cup final. He was ridiculous on Erling Haaland. But Munoz as well, for the guy, I think now 12 million they bought him in for, just random Colombian. They've done it again, where they're just getting this elite level fullback up and down the bar. And I think he was unbelievable on the weekend in the FA Cup as well. Doku is one of the most tricky wingers, one of the most dangerous wingers, had one chance where he got past Munoz. Other than that...
How old's Munoz? Is he 30 or no? because that's like Doku's range. Like they're not older than 30.
Or in Euros as well. So World Cups and Euros as well. Sorry, I forgot. World competition. But no, he was unbelievable. And Kirk, same thing. Like 5 assists, 2 goals this season. 8 clean sheets as well for Bournemouth. Like they were started the season very good defensively. They've fallen away a little bit, but I think he's been the consistent figure.
Yeah.
And look, I rate Dean Huijsen a lot and like Zabani a lot, but I think he out of the back line, he's probably been the most consistent this season, Kirk is. Yeah. And that's the reason why Liverpool want him. Like, there's no reason why they wouldn't want to buy him. But look, fullbacks are hard. There's a lot of talent. Robinson is a miss out as well.
I was going to say Robinson was probably a bit stiff. He's been very consistent.
Timber at right back.
You can make a case. You can make a case for Trent.
Trent as well, yeah. There's a few you could definitely have put in at right back and left back.
Yeah, I mean, and on the centre backs as well. Like we kind of said they pick themselves, but which I think they do. Mm-hmm. But probably a couple stiff. If miss out there as well.
If Arsenal had won the league, does Gabriel win Player of the Season?
Yeah, I think 100%.
Yeah, just like rolls it in.
I think Gabriel's been our best player this year.
Yeah. Because it's sort of a weird one. Because like you said with Raya, it's because you're good as a collective, it takes away from the individuals. Whereas like 2 years ago, all that Saliba because the back line. But
Saliba like came in and transformed. Sort of the vibe of the club a little bit and the defence. But
it's hard to stand out now at Arsenal's defence.
Yeah, it is. Like it really is. I mean, the only ones... It's actually crazy because across the board, I was going to say the only one like left back maybe in recent times a little bit, but then but now we have Miles Lewis-Skelly.
He could even slide in this team.
Yeah, I know, who's doing his thing. And we signed Calafiori, who was like one of the best players at the Euros. And like, I don't know, it's been...
I don't want to keep tooting my own trumpet, but I talked about Kiwior coming into that Champions League against Real Madrid. He has not put a foot wrong since he started.
Was elite. No, he was elite.
Even last night as well.
Yeah.
You got a problem. You got too many good defenders. They want to
I feel like Kiwior will leave.
He'd want game time, surely.
Yeah, and I also feel like I feel like it's one of those signings a club can make on sort of like a cheaper price because he doesn't start.
Yeah.
But you're getting someone who's proven to be that quality.
First 11,
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like Kiwior will go. Look, we'll have a big defensive clear out this summer. Like we'll lose, like Tierney's gone, Zinchenko's going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, as you said, there's so much talent in the back there that they all sort of none of them they all can't stand out, right?
Yeah, it's impossible to stand out in that back line. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Van Dijk and Gabriel speak for themselves. Fullbacks, take your pick.
Yeah.
So you went 4 in midfield.
Yeah, so I've got like 2 central midfielders and I guess sort of like 2 wingers.
2 wingers.
I went Gravenberch and Rice in the midfield.
Yeah. I think that's a consensus most people have seen to have.
Yeah, like, look, Liverpool sort of, you can once again like sort of take your pick.
Yeah.
They've also done their thing. I feel like it's been pretty consistent. Like playing time across the board for all their midfield players. But then Declan Rice probably I was a little bit more unsure about this because I feel like his best performances have obviously come in the Champions League.
Yeah.
But that being said, he's been one of our most consistent players this year. Had quite a few goal comps comparatively to previous years. And obviously got on the score sheet again last night. And I just feel like his game has ultimately improved significantly in this last 12 months at the club. I guess like matching more the price that we paid for him. So despite like, I don't think he set the world on fire in the Prem.
Yeah.
I still think I don't think there was a bunch of players like screaming out for this position. And I feel like you could definitely make a case.
Yeah. I went Gravenberch McAllister.
Yeah.
I've been on that combination now for a very long time. But look, it might sound ridiculous. Rice was obviously close. I think Enzo Fernandez was close as well. I think everyone talks about Caicedo. He's starting to move to right back. So I think actually Enzo had a really good season. He was very close. But McAllister's just that little nuggety, like small bloke that just gets in. It makes Gravenberch obviously job much easier.
Yeah.
And I still think Liverpool obviously didn't end up going well last year the way it fell apart, but there was so much learning from Gakpo and in particular McAllister. He played the 6 basically all of last season and we all said buy the 6, they never bought it, but him learning to play that role and then playing the double pivot with Gravenberch might be the greatest, I guess, gift Klopp gave Arne Slot because this midfield then became set this year. They're both 2 versatile 6s and 8s. They can like invert one way or the other. And I think as a combination, I just can't separate them as a 2. They come as a package.
That's fair.
And then my number 10, I must do my number 10. I got Cunha. Again, a little bit out of position, but I try to get as many attackers in this side. So 15 goals, 6 assists, 31 matches he's played in. He's nuts. And look, a bit of a pre-forward to next year. Hopefully he's doing something like that with us.
I do love Cunha. Like, I really, really rate Cunha.
Fingers crossed.
I don't... all I know is I don't think we're going to get him, which is very sad because I think...
He'd be great.
I think he'd be elite. The only thing is like, can he play out and out striker?
Where is that?
Who knows?
Can we play as more of like a second 10?
Like, exactly. And do we need another one of those guys who's going to hover around like...
That's going to clog it up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. It kind of gives like... I think he's definitely better than Jesus, but he's in like Jesus vibes as striker, like as in... Mate, like Lacazette vibes as striker. He's like never actually out striker.
Get in behind.
Like I think Cunha can score a lot of goals, but in our team, he probably just won't because he would just be playing so...
He'll drop in as well.
But, okay, so... And then my front four, I guess, is I have... It's a bit rogue. I need to get Brian Mbuemo in this team.
We've done
the same thing here.
Yep.
He's playing on the left.
Hey, Matoma areas for me.
Look, yeah. And I don't think he'd be very good in the left in real life, to be honest. But he needs to get in this team.
He stands out, yeah.
It was either I put a striker at left wing or a winger on the opposite side. So I got Mbuemo on the left, Salah on the right, and then I've got Chris Wood and Isaac up top.
I like that you put Wood in somehow.
Yeah,
like
Chris Wood just needs to get in this team.
Yeah.
Like, how many goal comps has he had? Like 20. Sorry, goals has he had?
I think it's 20 goals.
Mate, 20 goals for Forest, Chris Wood, mate. Like, come on. That is that. If he scored a couple in the last day, that normally wins you the Golden Boot.
Yeah,
like 22, 23 goals wins you the Golden Boot. Like probably 6 of the last 10 years.
20 goals, 3 assists.
Like,
pretty mental.
Mate, that is mental for Chris Wood. And Isaac's had 23 goals. And how many's Haaland's probably still at
23 as well.
So, yeah. Look, Haaland could probably go in this team. You know,
just like, City though.
Like, I wouldn't disagree with you if you put Haaland in this team, but I just don't think. Yeah, I just don't think he's like. He's had. It's like he has not outperformed his XG. I don't think at all this year, right? So it's like he's performed to expectation.
He's performed bang on his XG. So he hasn't actually outperformed this year. 21 for 21. It's exactly
it. So it's like
that's strange.
He hasn't done anything to help contribute winning the games more than he should have, right? Like he hasn't. I can't think of a time this year Haaland's like pulled City from a losing position to put him up, and
that's a big stat.
Yeah, like
that doesn't happen often.
Yeah, he's just been doing his job, and it's like cool. I get that, but like I don't think that warrants him, despite having a lot of goals on its own value, right? Like I don't think that warrants him being in this team.
So he was +8 on the first season. That was ridiculous that year.
I thought last year the same as well.
I think he was actually 2 behind last season. So he's done it back-to-back years now.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, like this guy, for all the goals he scores, has like I expected Haaland to be a player to massively outperform his XG.
He has to be. That's the player he has to be.
Exactly. He's supposed to be like a clinical finisher, right? And at the moment, he just hasn't. Over the last year, just hasn't been that.
That shocks me.
He's just been like at the level. I guess you could say at the same time is that he gets more shots off because of the player he is. So he probably has a higher XG than most players would in that position.
Yeah.
But you'd also expect him like you're thinking like Harry Kane, like clinical finisher, right?
Yeah.
Like Salah this year has been so clinical. I think he's massively outperformed his XG. Like nearly by 10, I think Salah's nearly outperformed his XG. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I just had to go with Isaac and Wood.
Yeah, Salah's +5.
+5, yeah. Okay. Yeah. His assists is massively like.
Oh, the assists, I'm pretty sure. I saw that yesterday when I was looking at these.
It's like stats. 7 or 8 over. It's mental.
It's 10 over the assists.
Mate, I mean, that's not even his credit. That's like,
that's probably more the finishes.
Playing Diaz. That is mental though.
I had the exact same players just in a front three. They had Burma on the left, Salah on the right, Isaac up top.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Mbuemo. Actually, let's talk about Mbuemo and Isaac. Could both players potentially on the move? Actually, I want to hear your thoughts of this because I've now thrown up to Nathan a few times. Newcastle, obviously City, Liverpool. I put Newcastle in there. They're not having been linked with him yet, but Rodrigo on the go. Rodrigo Goes on the go. Would you, if you're Newcastle, would you throw the kitchen sink at Rodrigo in the hope of keeping Isaac? That's sort of how I see it.
Yeah,
Isaac looks like he's 50-50 right now. I couldn't tell you, but obviously, yeah, Arsenal's in and around it. There'll be some other clubs in Europe as well that are looking for another striker. If you get Rodrigo there to Newcastle, though, with obviously Tonali and Bruno and all that, is that a big sign? One, to propel them to a title fight, and then two, to keep Isaac, or is that just ridiculous?
I don't know if they sign him, like how do they line up?
That's the problem. Gordon had to sacrifice his role because Rodrigo wants to play the left.
Yeah,
That's
I just don't think you can drop Anthony Gordon.
Yeah,
like,
you're not happy with that move.
I just don't think. I think if they're going to sign, they need to sign someone on the right.
Yeah,
that's screaming out for no. And to be fair to
Murphy's stats have been nuts.
Yeah, Murphy's stats have been elite this year.
Yeah,
but I don't think. Yeah, I think they're going to sign someone and needs to throw money at a right winger who can complement the other two, and then hopefully that's enough. But yeah, I don't think they'll sign Rodrigo.
It's a big fall and go for him
to try and keep Isaac.
Yeah.
I don't think Isaac's going to leave, to be honest.
You think he's one
I think it's too expensive.
Yeah.
Because in the current market, I think he probably costs 120 mil, 100
and the rest, I feel like.
Yeah.
You get 150, I think.
Yeah, north of 120.
North of 120, yeah.
What is he, 25, 6'3", finisher.
Prime, speedy.
Quick.
Yeah. The package, basically.
Has a couple injury issues. Like, I feel like he gets like niggles and little.
I feel like that's just the Newcastle thing. They're always interested in Newcastle.
Yeah, gets like little soft tissues and stuff like relatively frequently, which is not ideal. Like, you don't really want to spend big money on those guys, but I don't think you'll leave. I think ideally if Newcastle signs something for the right, and then that kind of, I don't know, propels them into like a bit of a title race, I guess.
Crazy they're back in third though.
Yeah, no,
it's just gone under the radar, man.
Thank God, I got one of them right. But no, yeah, because their squad is good, man. Their squad, like, it probably just lacks a bit of depth.
Yeah. The face.
They've cleared it out over the last couple of years. Like, got rid of a lot of dead wood. Like, they had guys like Saint Maximin and stuff who would have been like some decent depth and probably would have probably starts on the right. Like,
they probably force him in there. Yeah.
Yeah, like historically, he's like one of those guys who would be starting, but they got rid of him because I just don't think he fit the mold. And yeah, I think they can add a bit of depth. They're kicking about. Yeah. What was the other part of the question?
Mbeumo.
So obviously Isaac, the whole point is that he's had an amazing year, right? So he could be having a move, and if he does go, it'd be big money. Yeah, but I think it'd be too expensive.
Yeah,
Mbeumo, if he goes to Turkey, I think he's going to move to Turkey. Like an off-season spell in Istanbul will do wonders for his valuation. Yeah, 2 months long, might come back with like a sort of like a, I don't know, like a low temper fade or something, like,
Salah's off season, getting some of that. Save the hairline.
But no. I mean, look, it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, there's just something. I just don't think he's marketable enough. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous. I don't know why, but why does Bryan Mbeumo not get any links with a big move? Because he's like 27.
Yeah.
Right?
He's bad.
Plays at like
19 goals.
Yeah, I know. He's just scoring goals left, right, and centre. He's on pens. He's a talisman, right? Like, he should be gettable. He plays for Brentford.
He's Brentford, man. They'll sell him. They have to sell him.
I can't believe his wages are that high and he's got that long left on his contract. And I just do not see links for this guy ever. And I'm telling you, I just don't think he's that marketable. Like, he doesn't have, and it's not even the bald thing, and like I know it sounds bad, but Eze is like so nonchalant, and like
dreadlocks.
Like Elise was so nonchalant, man. Like, never allowed to smile, can't joke. If he smiles, and he like gets angry at himself. Like, all these guys, it's just, I don't know. Cunha is Brazilian. Like, he's like Brazilian, and like, he's on Twitter and stuff. I don't know, like Instagram, and writes weird schizophrenic comments. Like, this is Mbeumo.
He's just too normal, bro.
He's just like, yeah, I just don't know why, but there's something there which just does not equate to him getting links to big clubs. I don't know what it is.
He worked at Tesco.
But do you agree? Like he does not get the links he deserves.
Because he's going to go for 55 mil, I reckon. He'll go for nothing. Whereas you should be paying, like, what are we paying for Cunha? Like 70? He's at least sent.
He's like 27 years old. He's like, he should. We paid. I mean, we paid like 70 mil for Havertz, who was out of form.
Yeah,
like
coming
a
off
couple
a
of years
spell.
younger. I know he's taller and stuff, but like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
I think, like, I hope he goes to a good club. Obviously, United for everyone. It's always the thing. But like, for a little bit, he was there. But I feel like he needs a club that's going to be successful.
Yeah.
Because like I don't even see him wasted at a Chelsea or a United or a Spurs. He's going to rule. But these are the sort of clubs going to go in for him. Because Arsenal can't promise him first team football.
No, we can't get him.
Liverpool, no chance.
Yeah.
Like Newcastle, potentially.
Yeah, Newcastle's
Like,
the one which to me screams.
I just feel like though, like you said though, he doesn't feel like that marquee player. And I feel like the next player for Newcastle has to be a marquee player. Like
That's what I don't understand. Why doesn't he have that vibe about him?
It's just he's not 24. He's not 24. He's not
But like
English. He's not.
How many years does Mbeumo need to keep doing this?
Well, he should be a marquee, hasn't?
Like but he never will be though. This is the thing.
Yeah.
Mbeumo will never be looked at as a marquee player.
And also the Brentford tax as well. They don't give.
Is it because he doesn't interview? Like, I can't really think of a Brian Mbeumo interview. You know, like all these other guys sort of interview a little bit and they say some sort of statement which gets them like flagged in the media and they say something.
They say something. Yeah.
There's got to be an element of his off field like persona which is retracting from the vibe Brian Mbeumo should have as a player.
Unless we don't know, but Newcastle already got it signed, sealed, and delivered. Maybe they've already sorted it. But it's surprising. Like for Bridso or like Ornstein or something, they'd be all over it. But
it's just. I feel like we rarely see, as much as they're linked. I feel like we do rarely see players from like talisman players from other Prem clubs go to the big six clubs.
Yeah, it's just
like Zaha never got that move.
Yeah,
you know, like he was there for 10 years, never got that move. I know Cunha's probably going to get that move. But like,
there's not many other players.
In recent times, I can't really think of many that actually get that move. Like
they sort of enter in the big six. Like I'm seeing Raheem Sterling, but he went from every big six club to each other. Like
there's, I guess Solanke got that move.
Yeah,
but that was big. Off the top of my head though, can't really think of a heap. Like
it doesn't
like Watkins never got that move. Villa got better, right?
Yeah.
You know, Forest. None of them have left as of yet. They're getting better, right? As in, and all these guys are probably linked to big clubs at some point.
Yeah.
Even like Jamie Vardy in his prime never got that move.
Never got the big money move. Yeah.
I know Kante and Mahrez did, but sometimes
it's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, like sometimes like you just, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of rumours, and I would not be surprised to see Brian Mbeumo stay at Brentford for most of the rest of his career.
Hey, if he stays at Brentford, that front three right now is electric. He's got Mbeumo, Sharda's finally delivering. I've talked about this guy for ages. He's finally delivering.
Hey, Sharda was like showing glimpses 2 years ago.
Yeah, and he was injured and he was in out of form, and now he's finally. And then Visser as well.
He's an exciting player, Sharda. He's a big boy.
Yeah. No, he's massive.
No,
he's like him and Nico O'Reilly, like the future like molds of like wide, like massive 6'3", like speedy. It's like I don't know how they do it. Yeah, but. Visser and Mbeumo, even in Visser as well. Like that guy's bagged like 18 plus
Visser,
this year.
another player goes under the radar. I don't know how old he is as well, but I'm sure he's like younger than everyone thinks.
Again,
I'm sure Visser's like everyone probably say like 30 years old. He's probably like 27.
He is.
He looks a bit older.
28 years old, man.
Yeah,
they're in their primes.
Yeah, I know.
19 goals and 4 assists for a Brentford side. Like this is.
I know. It's ridiculous.
It's incredible.
And he missed a couple games.
Yeah.
He probably only had 30 starts this year.
I think it'd be in the 30s, yeah.
Like.
I'm saying a workout today. 34 games, but I don't know how many starts that is.
Yeah. I reckon he's had 30 starts, 19 goals. Like,
yeah.
I mean, pretty impressive numbers,
return.
right? So that's why we have to get Brian in this team.
Yeah.
Look, Salah speaks for himself.
So we don't need to talk about Salah, do we?
Yeah. No, I don't mean, we'll talk about him later.
Later on, yeah.
You know, in a different show. And then we already spoke about Chris Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bagsman.
I mean, what do you reckon the team this season? Does this team win the league?
But no, that'd be last year's team because I can remember a few of the players from last year's team. I just don't think it's just because maybe it's just the feel of it. But it doesn't.
Well, how many points does this team win the league by?
Ooh. So let's just say Liverpool the closest.
Yeah.
Let's say they get.
Assume it's Liverpool with Salah. With Salah, right? Like
let's say they get 88.
Current Liverpool team.
88, 90 points hypothetically. I reckon this team wins it, but I reckon they get 100. I reckon this team gets 100 points.
Yeah. Do you reckon they lose a game?
It might lose to a City team. A City team that just out-possessions this team. this team ain't a possession team, or for my team at least.
Mate, this team's cracked.
It's counter. Mine's counter-attack FC, actually. I've got a lot of speedy. Munoz, Kirkez, and Burmo, Salah, Isaac.
Isaac would pivot. I like that. I like that a lot.
Bro, your 4-4-2 might just cook a little bit.
Isaac is bouncing off Chris Wood and hitting through the back. But
little 1-2s up the pitch.
Yeah.
They're good teams.
Yeah.
They're good teams. But I just think last team of the season was crazy.
No, I
good.
definitely agree.
Yeah, it was very strong team.
Team doesn't have the same amount of aura as other.
Yeah.